Reynolds putting you in the director's chair. Get signed up for Speed Onboard Pass and take control of the race. If you're a fan of ALMS, Grand Am, ARCA, or IROC, then you need to get the Speed Onboard Pass now. For only $4.99 per race, you get multiple race cameras streaming live, plus live timing and scoring and exclusive live pit-to-car audio. And Speed Onboard Pass lets you chat with fellow race fans all while the race is going on. So take control with Speed Onboard Pass. Log on to speedtv.com and sign up now. That first one is tomorrow at the AMA race.
We had a handful of trucks make their way to pit road on this caution flag. Most of the lead lap trucks stayed out. Johnny Benson will get the free pass. So great strategy on his part by not tearing the fender off that truck. Go ahead, take your penalty, get the lap down, but put fresh tires on that truck, gets the free pass. The very next caution flag, he's back on the lead lap and in contention. Ricky Craven was in again with the 99 Super Chips Ford, making some adjustments.
And going back to Johnny, too, where he's stopped now, if the yellow comes out in another 30 or 40 laps, everyone else is going to pit, and he's going to get good track position.
And because Bobby Hamilton pitted when he did, he's not going to be able to use the same strategy that he used a year ago where he only stopped one time.
That's right. He will definitely have to stop again.
But Ron Hornaday getting a good jump going to the outside.
He's going to make that outside pass work, possibly side by side with David Rudiman.
Takes away the second spot from David Rudiman, and now Ron Hornaday sets his sights on the inside of Brandon Witt. He's going to try for the pass on the first restart lap. It looked as though they almost made contact there, and Ron Hornaday's out front.
I think almost is an understatement.
It's Ron Hornaday taking over the top spot. Brandon Witt with a wake-up call there. David Rudiman gets by him, and so now Brandon Witt's fighting to hold on to second.
Well, Ron Hornaday is one of the best in the business when it comes to restarts. He's always been like that.
Watch Brandon Witt fight back on the outside. He wants to go back after Ron Hornaday and get that lead back.
Brandon Witt with a very strong Toyota Tundra tonight.
And he made it work on the outside.
He does take that second spot back from David Rudiman. And now, like you said, he's looking to get back with Ron Hornaday.
We saw Ron Hornaday jump on the outside of David Rudiman to take over the second position on the restart. But then watch this going down in turn number 3. That's the 6 Ron Hornaday. He drives so hard in the corner, he cannot stay on the bottom of the racetrack. He makes some contact with Brandon Witt, pushes him up the racetrack. That allows the 17 of David Rudiman to get side by side. Brandon Witt subsequently got that second position back, and now he's after Ron Hornaday.
Plus, did you see his wheels? He's almost in the grass going down. He is in the grass.
Absolutely.
Outside, still there.
That was riding on board with David Rudiman as Ron Hornaday took the shortest route around this track, which actually included going to the infield.
Is that the block pass or the boat pass?
Oh, look at this side-by-side racing. This is short track racing for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
That's a lap down truck, the 08 of Tam Topham. There's John Andretti, the 15 truck. He's hung in behind that lap truck. He needs desperately to get to the outside. That truck is holding him up. You see Jimmy Spencer drive by on the outside. John says, please somebody let me up.
And Jimmy Spencer, he's been in the pit a few times working on his truck, and it looks like he's getting it better and better and better.
John Andretti, and he gets into the side of the 08 of Tam Topham. Topham spins around, and look at the problems behind him. Timothy Peters involved in this, as is Ricky Craven in the 99.
That looked like a situation where John said, hey, I can't get by him on the outside. Let me see if I can get by him on the inside. Didn't look like there was enough room. They made some contact, and that allowed this melee to take place here. We'll have to take a look and see exactly what happened, but it looked like John might have made some contact, and that started that thing. See a little damage to the left rear corner of the 99 Super Chip Sport of Ricky Craven.
If he's got a tire rub, he's definitely going to have to take care of that.
Folks, we're only 51 laps into this, and this is our 4th caution. This is short track racing.
We only had 2 cautions in 105 laps last year. See the 08, this Tam Topham. You see the damage to his truck.
Damage also to the 99 of Ricky Craven. Let's look back at this.
Now watch the 15 truck of John Andretti. He drives down on the inside. He makes just the slightest bit of contact because the 07 looked like he may have pushed the 08 down.
Phil, I don't know if John actually made contact with the 08. It looked like the 07 and the 08 got into each other.
Yeah, I don't think John got into him at all. He was close, but
it looked like the 07 came down and hit the 08. And that spun him around.
Right. If John did hit him, it was after the 08 was completely sideways.
Yeah.
From that angle, it looks even more like John did not make any contact until possibly right at the last instant after the 08 was completely sideways. But you see Timothy Peters involved, the 4. We know that Ricky Craven, the 99, has some damage. Here comes the leaders down pit road.
Ron Hornaday leading Brandon Witt, Jack Sprague, Terry Cook, and a slew of other trucks heading down pit road. Ray.
Well, Ron Hornaday decided that he is going to go ahead and make this a two-stop race. Actually, Wally Rogers, his crew chief, made that decision, but they said, yeah, let's go ahead and do it that way. Now, whenever you see this crew chief, where this crew go into action, you got to say, hey, Jason. We got Jasons all over the place here. Jason Meeks is the jackman, or Jason Tate is, excuse me. Romsberg and Meeks do the changing on the tires. So there's Jasons in every direction for Hornaday. The Goodwrench Chevy's getting his service. The guys will get 4 tires on it, and Hornaday will head back to the racetrack.
Look at the steam coming out of the 10 of Terry Cook right now.
We've seen so many of these trucks overheat in this race. Obviously, it was 105 degrees or something like that during the day, but these trucks do not make long enough runs in practice to really simulate how warm these trucks are going to get, because they continue to get warmer and warmer and warmer.
With this caution, it really made the team show their hands. You got guys like David Rudiman, looks like he's going to try to do it on one stop. The 46 truck, a lot of those guys are just going to stop one time. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at the end, how important tires are.
See, we're still 147 laps from the end of this race. I don't think any of these guys can go 147 laps. This is a 3/4 mile track. I think about 120, maybe 130 laps may be the most that anybody can go. So I think all these teams are going to have to pit again.
David Rudiman out in front of the field now, so we have a new leader on this 3/4 mile short track. Wendy, how's David doing?
David's doing pretty good now. He has been free on entry and through the center, but he's been good off. They decided to stay out because they thought it was going to be a quick yellow, and then at the last second, you saw all the leaders come down pit road. Jason Overstreet said pit, pit, and all of a sudden, David Rudiman was past that entry point. So David Rudiman now is looking for lap 82 is his magic number, and just to add what Phil was talking about, those other guys that pitted can't go the rest of the way. David Rudiman might be sitting pretty with one stop.
Looks like something happened to Todd Bodine, like he's getting a 1-lap penalty for something. I don't know what he did.
Looks like he's playing with some wires on the dash. You see him, Boris, playing with some wires on the dash. Looks like maybe he has an ignition problem. There he goes. There he goes.
Yeah, one time I was running and they have that kill button on the steering wheel for safety, and I hit that under a yellow, and I didn't know what happened. And I looked like an idiot sitting in the front straightaway. Then my crew chief said, try that button, and it started right up. So hopefully it was something that simple.
You know, Wendy was talking about the communication between Jason Overstreet and David Rudiman, and how Jason said, come on down, come on down. Well, if you're not aware of it, the entrance to pit road is actually on the backstretch. It's entering into turn 3. This is it right here. You have to make the commitment right here on this access road, which is coming into turn 3, to get onto pit road. And so if he had already gone by that, he could not come down pit road.
That's right. If the caution flag was to come out, if you made a green flag pit stop and you have to enter right there, if the caution flag comes out, they've got an escape route. You don't have to stay on pit road. There's an escape route before they actually get to the commitment cones that you can go back on the racetrack. But under caution, once you commit there, you have to come on down pit road. But David Rudiman missed that entrance. He couldn't pit.
Just right here as they're going by right now. That's where that commitment area is, as far as if you want to come down pit road under caution, you have to come down this access road. And so David Rudiman may be having a little bit of a mistake there as far as strategy and pitting.
Sometimes it may work out, though, as we talked about. This could be a 1 pit stop race for him. Now, that may force him to that kind of a schedule. We've got 143 laps to go or something like that. So, you know, he may run another 40 laps, decide to pit then, and say, hey, that's all I'm going to pit. Where we know everyone else has to make another pit stop, too.
If the tires hold up, I think it's going to work for him, because in the end of it, he's going to have track position when Ron Hornaday and those guys make their second stop.
Look at the front end of Bill Lester, that number 22 Toyota. It looks as though he had to check up and didn't get checked up soon enough.
Probably a little chain reaction on that restart there. You see something, when somebody goes and they back off for whatever reason, then something like that happens. And the farther back you go, the more vulnerable you are to something like that happening.
Husqvarna 22 coming down pit road to try to get some work done on that. And obviously, at a track like this where it's extremely hot, you don't want to have problems with your radiator, and that's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, what you don't see there's a lot of duct work going to the radiator, and that's really important how it channels the air in. And without that, you know, they're going to have to fix that, or that truck will just overheat.
Let's see if we can take a look at what happened to the 22. Watch the red truck left of your screen. Jack Sprague right there, the 16 truck. You see everyone in front of him had gone, and then all of a sudden Jack had to slow down to keep from running into the truck behind him. Bill didn't get quite as much warning as he needed to. Made some pretty hard contact with the 16 of Jack Sprague.
This is a battle for second. Todd Cleaver and Rick Crawford. Now the front has shaken down a little bit. We've got David Ruderman out front, Todd Cleaver second, Rick Crawford third, Setzer is fourth, and Brendan Gaughan, who was involved in an incident early on, is in fifth.
Yeah, Brendan Gaughan is one of the trucks that pitted back on lap number 10. The trucks right now running first through fourth have not pitted yet in this race.
Dennis Setzer trying to get out to the front. One of the hottest drivers in NASCAR right now. 3 out of the last 4 races have been claimed by Dennis Setzer. The heat is definitely getting hot on the tires.